नमस्कार विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, आज आपण आपल्या 15व्या प्रकरणाला सुरुवात करणार आहोत. आपल्या प्रकरणाचं नाव आहे साऊंड म्हणजेच ध्वनी. हाऊ इज साऊंड प्रोड्यूस? डिअर फ्रेंड्स, इफ you take a tuning fork, you can observe that it is made up of two prongs and a stem. Keeping the stem steady, if the prongs are struck, they start vibrating. And you can listen the sound. If the stem is kept steady and the prongs are struck, the prongs are set into vibrations. It means that they are set into periodic motion in forward and backward direction. Prongs म्हणजे नादकाटा जो आहे त्याच्या भुजा. ट्युनिंग फॉर्क म्हणजे नादकाटा आणि स्टेम म्हणजे त्याचा आधार. मग जेव्हा तुम्ही आधाराच्या मदतीने तो नादकाटा रबरी तुकड्यावर किंवा आपल्या हातावर असा आपटला तर त्याच्या भुजा कंप पावतात आणि त्याच्या कंपनांना सुरुवात होते आणि या कंपनांची स्थिती जी आहे ही वेगवेगळी असते. आकृत्यांमध्ये 3 वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारची कंपनं दाखवलेली आहेत. हिअर इन फिगर A, if you observed, you can find that the air pressure created in region A in the figure, the region in which air is high pressure, at high pressure and at density, it is called as compression. The region in which air is at high pressure and high density, the region is called as compression. In the opposite manner, if the region is without high pressure of air and high density, then the region is called as rarefaction. So compression and rarefaction together constitute the production of sound. Here you can observe 3 different figures A, B and C and 3 different positions of the tuning fork. All of us know that medium is necessary for propagation of sound. So how can you prove this? For this, take a jar, bell-shaped jar, and make the apparatus as shown in the figure. Here you can find that the jar is attached to a vacuum pump. So in this experiment, a vacuum tight bell jar is placed on a smooth horizontal surface. The bell jar is connected to a vacuum pump via a tube. When you remove air inside the bell jar using the vacuum pump, you cannot hear the sound of the electric bell. So this indicates that medium is necessary for propagation of sound. When there is air in the bell jar, you can listen the sound of electric bell. But when it is without air, means there is no medium, then you cannot hear the sound. This experiment demonstrated that sound generation and propagation needs a medium. Two astronauts on the moon talking to each other directly will be unable to listen to each other, even if they are very close to each other, because the moon does not have atmosphere. Since there is no medium, which is very necessary for generation and propagation of sound between the astronauts, direct sound propagation between them is not possible, and therefore they use some technology like one used in our cell phones to communicate with each other. Remember, the waves used in cell phone do not need any medium for propagation. चंद्रावर गेलेले अंतराळवीर अगदी एकमेकांच्या जवळ जरी उभे राहून बोलले तरी त्यांना एकमेकांचं बोलणं ऐकू येत नाही. कारण काय? तर चंद्रावर कोणत्याही प्रकारचं माध्यम नाही, हवा नाही, वातावरण नाही. आणि त्यामुळे त्यांना ध्वनी प्रसारण होण्यासाठी, ध्वनी निर्मिती होण्यासाठी त्यांच्यामध्ये माध्यम नसल्यामुळे त्यांना एकमेकांचं बोलणं ऐकू येत नाही आणि अशा वेळी ते भ्रमणध्वनीसारखे तंत्रज्ञान वापरून एकमेकांशी संवाद साधतात. भ्रमणध्वनीच्या ज्या लहरी आहेत त्यांच्या प्रसारणासाठी कुठल्याही माध्यमाची गरज भासत नाही आणि म्हणून चंद्रावर देखील सहजपणे त्यांना एकमेकांशी संवाद साधता येतो. फ्रिक्वेन्सी ऑफ साऊंड वेव्ज. Observe the diagram. Here in the diagram, compressions and rarefactions are shown. Cycles of compression and rarefaction in sound waves and change in air pressure is shown clearly in this diagram. One compression and one rarefaction together, it forms one cycle of the wave. The number of cycles formed in air in 1 second will be decided by number of times the prongs of tuning fork vibrates back and forth. That is the number of vibrations of the tuning fork in 1 second. Number of such cycles that are produced in the air per second is called as the frequency of the sound wave. The frequency of sound waves is measured in hertz. If one cycle is completed in 1 second, the frequency is also said to be 1 hertz. How can you define 1 hertz frequency? If one cycle is completed in 1 second, then the frequency is said to be 1 hertz. Here in the table, frequencies of musical notes are shown. Identify the instruments and discuss sound production in them. Identify the instruments and discuss sound production in them.